This is IUPTv News, broadcast from Davis Hall. We will bring you our weekly news bulletin. I'm Taylor Jones.
And I'm Brandon Uholic. Today we will bring you stories related to IUP and the Indiana community. We will begin with local news. Indiana University of Pennsylvania and 59 stakeholders in Indiana Borough and White Township are preparing for IUPATs, or St. Patrick's Day celebrations. There will be activities led around Indiana as well as the ones held by IUP Leads, a student-led movement that was formed in 2014 in response to unruly behavior or unsanctioned gatherings and parties that made headlines. They are offering up to $250 in prizes to organizations that join in the campaign of positive engagement that encourages safe, legal, healthy, and fun events. The celebrations are predicted to start Thursday night and run through Sunday morning.
Now the national news. Facebook has been under fire after the New York Times and the Guardian newspaper reported that former Trump campaign consultant Cambridge Analytica used data, including user likes, to try to influence the 2016 elections. Researchers found that likes on hobbies and other interests can predict personal attributes such as sexual orientation and political affiliation. Computers analyze such data to look for patterns that might not be obvious. Chris Wiley, a Cambridge co-founder who left in 2014, said the firm used such techniques to learn about individuals and create information to change their perceptions.
Russian President Vladimir Putin, the country's longest-serving leader since former Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin, scored a victory in Sunday's election, allowing him another 6-year term. Putin's re-election was widely expected, and election officials had pushed hard for a strong turnout to claim an indisputable mandate. Putin has been president or prime minister since December 1999, making him the only leader that a generation of Russians has ever known. IUP's Women in Gender Studies hosted a Wiki Editathon, where they set out goals to empower women and edit Wikipedia to properly represent the history of women. Kane Reinhardt has more on the story.
Throughout our education, we are expected to read and write. Sometimes it's from books or online sources. When it comes down to writing a paper, generally we're expected to cite our sources. Our source that seems to be the first destination when we're searching for information is Wikipedia.
So I think that the content on Wikipedia can really vary, but I think Wikipedia is a great place to get started whenever you're reading about a topic. But I do think that the content tends to be focused more so on people who are males and on content that men are interested in editing, and so today we're adding in information about women.
Because it is a wiki, it allows anyone to edit information as long as they're on their page on the website. Through the two methods of editing, visual editing and wiki markup, you can edit anything that you'd like. Because it's readily available to edit, some people believe certain information on Wikipedia isn't balanced.
So I'm Matthew Vetter. I'm an assistant professor in the English department, and I'm working with the Wikimedia Foundation and an organization called Art and Feminism to organize this editathon today. The editathon is really focused on tackling Wikipedia's by now well-established gender gap. The gender gap means that most of the people editing Wikipedia are actually males, and that affects the type of representation of women and women's issues on the encyclopedia. So the main impetus for our event today is really trying to expand coverage of women and the arts across Wikipedia.
In order to improve Wikipedia and balance reporting, Women in Gender Studies collaborate with the Center for Digital Humanities and Culture to host the second annual Art and Feminism Wikipedia Edit-a-thon.
So in addition to tackling Wikipedia's gender gap, we're really interested in getting students involved in Wikipedia editing because we're interested in moving them from consumers of the encyclopedia. We all kind of use Wikipedia, even though it has been in academia, it's often looked down upon. We're all still using Wikipedia, but we're not always using it critically. Okay, so today's event is really about engaging with a type of critical literacy practice and interrogating Wikipedia across some of its systemic biases.
Around 100 people attended the 3-hour-long continuous editing event. They came from various backgrounds inside the colleges.
So right now I'm working on an article change or article revision for two famous African American black women throughout history. The first being Frederica Douglass, and this was the granddaughter of Frederick Douglass. And she's actually not cited very much in the Wikipedia article. She did a lot of work with children in foster care, and so this is kind of my way of giving back and giving her a voice as well. And the second woman that I'm also editing is Amy Garvey. This was Marcus Garvey's wife, and he was a huge civil rights leader and an activist during his time, but his wife also played a major role in the organization he created, and so I'm going to be editing her articles as well to kind of make sure that she's getting the due recognition that she deserves. So I think it's important to participate in these types of events because even though I am a male and I am a man, I think it's important to really showcase the different perspectives of women and make sure that their stories are getting out there, make sure that their historical perspective is being shown as well, because I think, you know, the vision and the mission of Wikipedia at the time, or right now, is really to collect the world's knowledge. And we can't do that if all the world's knowledge is coming from the viewpoint of men. We can't do that if all the world's knowledge is coming from the viewpoint of white men or European ideologies. We have to kind of make sure that these different viewpoints and these perspectives are varied, and that we're getting different, you know, ideologies and different things from different people, to really make sure that it's all inclusive and whatnot.
It's great to see faculty and students so passionate about editing Wikipedia to properly represent feminism and women. I'm Kane Reinhardt, and this is IUPTv News.
It's hard to explain. It just became home. There are hundreds of majors and programs, bachelor's degrees to PhDs, small classes and faculty that really get to know you. Amazing internships and everywhere, programs that help to find a job that is right for you. It's what IUP is about, a commitment to your success. See it for yourself. Visit us, Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Find your success.
The Old Pahita Conservancy in Kenya announced Tuesday that Sudan, the world's last male northern white rhino, passed on Monday from age-related complications. Sudan was part of the effort to save the subspecies from extinction. Richard Vine, the CEO of the Conservancy, released the following statement. He was a great ambassador for his species and will be remembered for the work he did to raise awareness globally of the plight facing not only rhinos, but also the many thousand of other species facing extinction as a result of unsustainable human activity. Sudan was 45 years old.
IUP students who are interested in production work and being on TV have the opportunity to join IUP TV shows. Today there are more than a dozen student-run TV shows. This week we feature one of the newcomers, Hawk Talk, and the one student behind this program who is very passionate about doing what he loves. Here's Taylor Jones with the story.
Being in TV seems to be everyone's dream. In IUP, those who are interested can participate. Today, there are 8 programs ran by students. Early this year, a brand new show called Hawk Talk was created by a sophomore, Tyrone Gilman. Coming from Philadelphia, Tyrone has always been infatuated with every aspect of television production.
What made me want to be the producer of Hawk Talk is because it was related to what I wanted to do in my future career, which is, you know, being in television and production. And to be a producer, you know, I can, you know, do what I love and also learn and teach others. So, and to have that status of producer, I think is good to add on your portfolio. So
Definitely.
I feel like, you know, if any position you want to go for, and if it's, you know, something that's relatable to you and what you want to do, I say take it, because in the end, you want to learn from what you're doing, take the experience from it, and have that position on your portfolio.
Like any other student, Tyrone has to juggle his schoolwork and also a job at the Hilton Hotel, which can sometimes be hard for him to handle. So how do you balance Hawk Talk and schoolwork?
I really don't, everybody. I don't really have a balance. That's my downfall with this whole thing, because, you know, it's trying to find a balance, and I haven't found mine yet because I'm really stressed out. I just don't look it.
By watching others and creating something new, Tyrone follows good examples to chase his dream.
What made me want to be on TV is, you know, watching celebrities, actors, and stuff being on TV, it always inspired me like, wow, I want to do that one day. But what really started the passion is watching a show called 106 in Park, where Roxy and Terrence J was on there, and just seeing them, being themselves and having that personality and interacting with the crowd and stuff like that. I felt as though I connected to it, and plus I love music. I'm a big music fan.
With the advancement of technology, everyone, including Tyrone, uses social media as a way to expose himself and perhaps to get more experience. Do you think this experience will help your future career goals?
I do. I feel as though, my experience is, you can see it. My receipts is what I need to take with me, and it's gonna help my career in the end, because what we put on YouTube and what I record on a regular day basis, and my experience of what I learned thus far, I can take with me into wherever I go. You can't delete experience. I mean, you might forget it sometimes, but it ain't gonna go away as long as you keeping up with it and learning new things, and just revamping already what you know.
The Calm Media Department has 500 plus more students from the Pennsylvania area. People can either be producers or work behind the scenes. Tyrone, being a producer here at IUP, has helped him grow and reach his dreams. As more attention is given to IUP and time for IUPTvs, this is also a time when we try to see how individuals are making a difference in the community by creating better understanding among all of us. Sequoia Van Camp has this story.
When people come to a university, they expect to see a diverse culture, which might be similar to their own. Dr. Michelle Sandhoff is an assistant professor of sociology at IUP. She grew up in Central California, which helped her to understand the importance of diversity. Dr. Sandhoff has recently written a book titled Service in a Time of Suspicion.
So my book is about the experiences of Muslims serving in the United States military since 9/11. And it came out of my dissertation research. I was studying military sociology at the University of Maryland, and I was very interested in these questions of diversity in the military. I have written a lot about gender in the military, sexuality in the military, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to write my dissertation on, what I was willing to spend years researching. And I had this sort of aha moment that I had done a lot of work in American Muslim communities, and that this would actually be a really interesting topic to explore what it was like to be a Muslim in the military post 9/11. With all of these stereotypes we had in our society at large, how and why were people choosing to serve in the military, and were these stereotypes affecting their experiences in the military?
IUP is home to 15,000 students, many of whom are from different cultures and religions. After moving here a few years ago, she found a need to increase people's understanding of different religions. This also contributed to the creation of her new class, Muslims in America, and becoming an advisor of United Against Islamophobia.
So the goal behind the student organization United Against Islamophobia is to get students of a variety of different backgrounds and different experiences together so that they can learn from each other, they can learn about Islam and Muslims in the United States, and that they can combat stereotypes and Islamophobia both on campus, among their peers, but also in the community.
Dr. Sandhoff decided she wanted to do more than just teach in a classroom, because Indiana, PA reminded her of where she grew up.
Indiana, PA was familiar and also really different from how I grew up and where I went to school. So I'm from Central California. I grew up in an area where there was a lot of diversity. I had a lot of friends from different places, different immigrant experiences, different faith backgrounds growing up. And moving to Indiana, that was a little bit different in terms of the amount of diversity. On the other hand, I did go to UC Davis for my undergrad, which is an ag school. So moving into this rural area felt really familiar in a lot of ways. I have 2 credits on my on my college transcript for tractor driving. So it's kind of cool to be in a rural area again and get to see that.
While the Indiana community is less diverse than many, Dr. Sandhoff wants her students and readers to think about the diverse backgrounds of the people around them.
I think the more we know and the more we talk about diversity and how different people have different experiences and different perceptions and act differently and just have the experience of being human, I think the more we talk about that diversity, the more it breaks down these stereotypes. When we can get to know people as people or get to hear stories of people being people, that really helps challenge some of these stereotypes that we have, that everyone of this group acts this way or has this experience, because that's just not true.
As she reaches out, Dr. Sandhoff finds students and local residents alike have an open mind.
All of my experiences with Unite Against Islamophobia and the educational programs I do based on this book have been really positive, right? When I go out into the community or when I talk with student groups, people are really receptive. They're interested, they want to know, right? Most people in the United States don't know someone who's Muslim. It's something that, you know, we see what's on the news or what's in a Hollywood movie, and we don't have a real sense of what the diversity is here, what experiences are here. And a lot of people have just a lot of questions and they don't know where to go to get those questions answered.
Dr. Sandhoff's book is a manifestation of her knowledge, experience, and expectation.
The biggest takeaway that I would like readers to have after reading the book is that there is no one experience of being Muslim, and that includes being Muslim in the military. Even in this very specific, small population, folks have very different experiences.
As more people read the book, she hopes it will also increase understanding, especially understanding and respect toward people who come from different religions. This is Sequoia Van Camp reporting for IUPTv. When people come to a university, they expect to see a Dr. Michelle Sandhoff is an assistant professor.
Can I go to the sleepover?
Lucy, I want you to promise me something. If there's any drinking, I want you to say, "No thanks, not my thing."
Mom.
I promise you, your real friends won't care. Deal?
I promise, Mom.
They really do hear you.
Did you pack your toothbrush?
For tips on how to start the talk, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov, a public service message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
So this is your last year at IUP, right?
Yeah.
So do you have any good memories on IUPatties?
I mean, typically just, every IUPatties, I have friends that come up and see me, so it's always a good time walking around and just, having fun with all the students.
Yes, I completely agree. Jackie Gillis went around campus to find out what people think about IUPatties this year.
Welcome back to Hawk on the Block. Today I asked students what their plans are for St. Patrick's Day weekend here at IUP.
Well, my St. Patrick's Day celebration is that I'm going home because I have an interview for an internship, so I will not be participating in any crazy celebrations.
Going to have a lot of fun. Plan on doing a little performance with the Cougars. I don't know if you guys know who they are.
So my St. Patrick's Day celebration is some friends from home are coming up, so we're going to hang out and probably play some board games.
Reporting for IUPTv News, I'm Jackie Gillis.
Coming up, Peyton Marcajon will bring you sport and health stories. Stay tuned.
I fell in love with the campus, with the people, with my IUP life. See it for yourself. Visit us. Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Find your success.
Can you die from a sinus infection? Well, technically it is possible, and unfortunately it happened to a 13-year-old named Markel Brumley from Michigan. However, doctors still say this is a very rare occurrence. Dr. Jennifer Wider says, quote, "In this case, the infection spread into the brain, penetrated the bone, and caused blood clots, which ultimately put too much pressure on the brain, causing a significant decrease in oxygen. Doctors advise patients to take sinus infections seriously, and if it lasts more than a couple weeks, to make sure to follow up with your doctor to prevent it from becoming more severe."
When I was in high school, I didn't know where I wanted to go to college. But I did know I wanted a major with job potential, and a campus that felt like the right place for me. I chose IUP. I'm studying on a beautiful campus with great professors who focus on student success and 140 academic majors. I'm Megan Spangler. I study nursing. Find your success at IUP.
IUP senior guard Anthony Glover Jr. has been named to the National Association of Basketball Coaches All-Atlantic First Team. This is Glover's first selection to the NABC Atlantic First Team. He is one of 2 players from the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference on the 10-player first and second teams. Glover also earned All-Atlantic Region honors by the Conference Commissioners Association, which is chosen by Division II sports information directors. He is also the 5th straight IUP player to land on an all-region team.
You!
Oh! Your fault. You!
My fault?
Your fault. Your fault.
You're right.
What?
It's my fault.
What do you mean your fault?
You're right, it's my fault. Maybe both of us?
Maybe just you.
Next week, we will report on stories related to Easter weekend, as well as the P&B Rock concert and other interesting spring events.
Please stay tuned. We'll see you next week.